Why, hello there, all you lovely people. It is Mark from Ichiban Games, and we are getting into the fourth installment of the set for Alchemazam, the Grand Arcanum. So, before we jump into it, we have the disclaimer, as per usual, that this video is made for teaching purposes only. In the future will be updated. The game is in alpha stage, and all the artwork you see is proxy and placeholder. Some of the art is official that I own, and some I do not, which just remember, all the art you see is placeholder and only for teaching purposes, so just remember that, and all the credit goes to those artists. So, alrighty, let's jump into this. The first card we have here is Divination Portal, which is a common enchantment that's alchemic. It is 2 gold and 1 glyph spent, and it does the following. Alchemic ability at instant speed. Turn this card to peep the top card of your deck. You may put this card on the bottom of your deck. Alchemic ability at instant speed. Sacrifice this card and put 2 cards from the top of your deck into your graveyard. Then take target non-creature card from your graveyard and put it on the top of your deck. So, what that is a good little, shifter arounder of things for your deck. And you can even search for some stuff in a way out of your graveyard and get things back, that's spells and enchantments and stuff. So, anything that's not a creature. It could be weapons, it could be whatever. So, yeah, nice little card right there. Next card we have is Doom Rider Saddle, which is an uncommon equipment, accessory, pelt, bone. And it is a 2-drop of spending gold with an equip cost of 3. When Doom Rider Saddle is equipped, it allows a creature to ride it. So you can have anything ride anything with this. So very effective card right here. Very effective card. Next we have Doomwing, which is an uncommon creature, undead, vampire bird of the Dark faction. Its attack is 3, its defense is 4, and special defense is 0. And it is 2 gold and 1 treasure trove to use to bring out. And it has Drain, it has Poison of 2 units, and it has the Empowerment of Flight. Oh, how nasty you are. What a dirty bird. All right. Next is Dragon Buster, which is a common equipment, weapon, sword, elemental, and fire faction. So, yeah, it is a treasure trove to be turned to bring out, and then equip cost of 2, which it gives an extra little boost of 2 attack, 2 defense, and 1 special defense. So, good little help in terms of fightiness there. And then a +3 attack when fighting dragon creatures. So this is definitely dragon busting at its finest, where, yeah, you slap that on something and you just whoop them dragons. So, alright. Next, we have Draconian Defender, which is an uncommon creature that is a dragon human, draconian, and it's a knight as well. So, its attack is 3, its defense is 3, and special defense is 0. It is 1 treasure trove to use to get out, and let's see what this does. So when an opponent targets Draconian Defender to flick it, they must turn 2 gold and or glyphs to do so. It has preemptive if another dragon creature is on the field, this creature gets +1 defense when attacking and +1 attack when blocking. And then fuse with 2 more dragon creatures to become a Draconic Hydra. So, oh boy. All right, so, man, this is a really good uncommon card. Okay, so if you try and shoot this thing back to a player's hand, it is going to be where they have to do more to do so. And if there's more dragon creatures on the field, which would make sense to have more dragon creatures with this card, it gets preemptive, which it having preemptive is very good, but even so, if something is, if this thing attacks, it's going to get become a 3/4, and if it defends, it's going to be a 4/3. And once it gets that preemptive, it's just going to get dumb. And if you really want to go ham, you confuse these and just make some really strong Hydras that are happening. So, yeah, this card's really good. Okay. So our next one is Dwarven Forger, which is an common creature, dwarf warrior of the Fire faction. It has a attack of 3, a defense of 4, and special defense of 0. And its casting cost is use 2 gold, use 2 glyphs, and throw a card out of your hand. And let's see what it does here. So, when Dwarven Forger deals damage to a player, create 1 ruby or runestone. Ability, spell speed, spend 2 gold and 2 glyphs to create one of the following: Artisan Shield, Artisan Bow, Mithril Sword, or Mithril Armor. Ability, spell speed, turn 1 treasure trove to add a +1 attack and +1 defense counter to any equipment. So, nice little card here that deals with making equipment and making equipment stronger. So that's cool. And it gets you a little bit of resources. So very good card right here. Let's see what else we have. Next is an uncommon card that is an instant of the Earth faction called Earth Roll. And it is 3 glyphs that you spend and destroy up to 3 target creatures that are not flying or hidden. Haha, sure. Yeah. Kill stuff and up to 3. Yeah, that's great. But if you got flyers and you got hidden creatures, that ain't gonna happen. But yeah, that's great. But spellproof and such will take care of that, though, if they get targeted. So that is a thing there as well. But this is a great card. That's a great card. Next is Earthshaper, which is a common creature, human alchemist of the Earth faction. Its attack is 4, defense is 5, and special defense is 0. And it is a casting cost of 2 gold and 1 treasure trove used. And at your first upkeep, if you have 3 Earth faction cards on your field, gain 2 emeralds. Alchemy ability, spell speed, spend 2 gold to create 1 clay soldier token. So, yeah, you are definitely going to be getting lots of emeralds off this guy. He counts as an Earth faction. Even the emeralds themselves cost, are Earth faction cards. They're clay soldier tokens, and the clay soldiers themselves are Earth faction. There's a lot of other Earth faction. This is just going to make stuff for you and will fuel things, and you can just keep creating stuff. And those emeralds will toughen stuff up too. So that's a great card right there. The next card we have is a spicy card right here. It is a common spell called Entrance. It is 1 gold and 1 glyph and 1 card in hand that you're going to spend. So this card, charm and take control of a target creature an opponent controls until the end of turn. The creature does not have stasis. If the creature survives, return the creature back to your opponent's field when your turn is over. So grab a creature, use it, attack with it, whatever you got going on, and then that's it. Next, we have Equal the Fight, which is a rare enchantment of the Light faction. It is 2 gold spent and 1 treasure trove for using. Attach Equal the Fight to your field at your second upkeep if you have 10 life points or lower than another player. You may cast 1 creature of attack 3 and defense 3 or lower from your hand without paying the resource cost. Creatures with a star or an X or fusions cannot be cast this way. Well, this is a great card for definitely multiplayer card value here, going against like free for all. It's also good if you're just purposely trying to knock down your life and get out creatures all over. So yeah, pretty cool card. This can be done a lot of effective in different ways. So awesome. Next we have Essence Extraction, which is a common instant, and it is 1 gold and 2 glyphs to be spent. This card damages a creature or player and adds that amount to your life total. Do 2 damage for every upgraded resource used to cast this spell. Add 1 more damage. If a creature died by casting, gain 1 rune, stone, or elemental resource. So this card basically, yeah, you can do some damage to things, but if you're using an upgraded resource in its casting, like say that gold there was a treasure trove, and you used that and then spent the 2, so it would do an extra 1 damage. So I mean, if you used all upgraded resource there, this is a 5 damage spell. So depending on where you're at in the game, this is a pretty effective spell, and it can create rune stones and elemental resources. So very, very interesting card here. Next we have Essence of Vitality, which is a common instant, and it is 1 spent gold or glyph and 1 used treasure trove or arcane tome. So yeah, there you go. The abilities here are: you either gain 3 life points and draw 2 cards, or you gain 2 life points and draw 3 cards. So that's not too shabby. You get some life, you get some cards, and yeah, that's not bad for the value there at all. Next, we have Executioner of Chaos, which is a common creature human warrior with an attack of 4, defense of 4, and special defense of 0. It costs 2 gold and 2 glyphs used to get out, and it has Juggernaut of 2, can block magic-empowered creatures. When you sacrifice a fixture, this card gets +1 attack or +1 special defense until end of turn. And if the fixture was a creature, it also gets a power counter. Ability, spell speed. Put a card from your deck to your graveyard, sacrifice a fixture. Put a power counter on this card. Alchemic ability, spell speed. spend 4 counters and turn this card. Target opponent sacrifices a fixture. So, this can get pretty dirty. Okay, so it being a 4/4 is really good anyway, and having Juggernaut for it to go and stop things. But if you're just sacrificing stuff and you can basically just, if you put a card from your deck into your graveyard and you sacrifice a fixture, and that fixture being a creature, you'll get a power counter, but you'll also get a power counter if it's a creature in general, so it's a double power counter. And yeah, so there's that. Now, if you spend 4 power counters, you can have your opponent sacrifice stuff. That's cool, but also remember, when you're sacrificing stuff, this thing is beefing up, so it will want to rush through. So this is a very, very strong card right here. The next card is Eye of Greed, which is a rare creature, Homunculus Alchemist, with an attack of 2 and defense of 6 with a special defense of 0. The cost is 3 glyphs used to bring out, and it does the following. It has Fast, it has Sentinel. When Eye of Greed deals damage to a creature, it gets 1 power counter, and 2 if it deals damage to a player. Alchemic ability, Spell Speed, sacrifice a creature to make this card unblockable until end of turn. Alchemic ability, Spell Speed, spend 5 power counters to banish a target creature, then create gold and or glyphs equal to half the defense of the creature rounded up. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, if you're sacking stuff, you're making this hit through, this thing's just going to want to attack all the time regardless, so it doesn't matter. It's popping power counters on it. If you're banishing stuff off the field, let's say you banish something that's got, 4 defense, then you can get a gold or a glyph or 2 gold or 2 glyphs or whatever on your field. So this creature is a sickening thing. Holy moly, that thing's nuts. It's just, it's got removal, it's got ramp. I got ramp, I got removal. Who could ask for anything more? Yeah, that's what this thing is going to be singing all the time, as well as the player that plays this thing. So, there's that. This next card is this lovely lady right here. This is Fairy of Cataclysm, which is an uncommon card. It is a creature fairy witch at an attack of 2, defense of 2, and special defense of 0. It is 3 gold and 1 glyph to bring out by using it. And it has the empowerment of flight. When Fairy of Cataclysm deals damage to a player, it gets 1 power counter on it. Morph. Spend 3 power from this card to morph into a light fairy or dark fairy. So this thing can morph into 2 different things, is how that goes. So yeah, it's a cool little card. You'll be seeing more on the light fairy and dark fairy later on. Next, we have Fighting Master, which is an uncommon card that is a creature human monk that is 4 attack, 3 defense, and 1 special defense. It is a casting cost of 1 treasure trove and 1 arcane tome to bring out, and it has the following stuff. It has sudden, it has preemptive when not using its shield ability. It has a targeting, which up to 2 non-empowered creatures, damage may be distributed among those targets. And physical ability, when blocking, you may take a target attacking opponent creature that this card is not blocking and use it as a shield. So what a great card that is. I mean, you can get this thing on the field, it snatch a creature up, and then take that and block that creature where it's going to damage that creature that it's blocking first, and then it's, because that's the shield, and then that is that. It will hit the other creature then, and yeah, that's great. You can also target attack. I mean, this thing is just it's the fighting master, is right. It just fights and does lots of goodies there. So that's a great card. Super strong. The next card we have is Fireball Blast, which is a common that is an instant of the Fire faction. It is 2 glyphs spent to cast, and it inflicts 3 damage to any target. If your target was a creature, you may spend an extra 2 conventional and or use 2 upgraded resources to do an extra 2 damage to that target. So, yeah, if you can blast somebody in their face, and that's cool, or you can also hit a creature and blast that. But if you use a little bit more extra in the blasting of that's going on, you can really hurt that creature. So that's cool. The next card is Firebird of Victory's Pyre, which is a rare card that is a creature bird of the Fire faction. It is 3 attack and 3 defense and 0 special defense. It is 4 glyphs to bring out. It is empowered by flight. As long as another Fire faction creature you control is attacking while this card is attacking, this card gains 3 attack. If 3 other Fire faction creatures attack while this card attacks, it gains Pierce. Oh my. Yeah, okay. So this thing, when another fire card attacks, it becomes a flying 6 attack, 3 defense creature. This is scary, especially if there's a lot of fire creatures attacking, then it has Pierce. So this is definitely a death sentence right here. Next we have Firebrand Basilisk, which is another rare card. It is a creature, dragon, basilisk of the Fire faction, so another fire card here. And it is 2 attack, 2 defense, and 0 special defense. So it is 1 arcane tome to use to bring out, and this is what it has. It has fast, sentinel, poisonous of 1 unit. When this card attacks or turns a creature to stone, put 1 attack and 1 defense counter on it. Physical ability, spell speed, spend 3 gold and turn this card to turn a target creature to stone as long as that creature is +3 defense or lower than Firebrand Basilisk's defense. Fusion. Fuse with 2 more dragon creatures to have them become a draconic hydra. Yeah, this thing here, just if you get this early, it will attack and it will get bigger. And if you can turn things to stone, it'll get bigger. This is nasty, and it poisons you, and it doesn't turn when it attacks. So, yeah, this is a very beastly dragon right here. And it can turn to the Draconic Hydra, too, so that's really great. Next, we have an uncommon card that is called Fish Fodder. It is an instant. It is 3 gold spent to do, and it does this. Add a permanent +1 attack and 1 defense counter to a target creature you control. For every creature your opponent controls that dies from combat damage this turn, add a permanent +1 attack and +1 defense counter to every fish, nautilus, merman, or shellfish creature you control. Can you smell the fishies? Because the fishies be schooling. That is going to get wild where just any fish, merman, watery of those kind of type creatures are just going to get big and just go wild when you do. They just all get beefed up. So that's a strong card right there if you're doing a certain kind of deck with fishies and such. So yeah, good card for sure. Next, we have a common card called Fist of the Gods. It's a spell, and it is 1 treasure trove and 1 arcane tome. And this card is destroy any target on the field. Yeah, you just kill anything, destroy any enchantment, destroy any equipment, destroy lands, destroy whatever. You just can't destroy anybody's resources. That's great. This next card is an ultra rare. It is called Flame Spirit, which it is a creature elemental spirit of the Fire faction. It is an attack of 5, defense of 5, and special defense of 0. And its casting cost is use 2 gold and a treasure trove. It has the empowerment of magic, and when this card deals damage to an opponent, look at their hand, choose a creature from it, and send it to their graveyard. Magic ability, instant speed. When this card is dealt damage, it deals 2 damage to a target opponent player. Well, I don't know if you read what I read, but that's a little combo right there of goodbye cards and you're getting hurt and multiple shenanigans. So we definitely have seen some cards that do damage to other creatures and can do singular pings as well, where if this card is getting damaged, it is also where it's going to be, that player choosing cards to get flung out of the opponent's hand. That could be any player. So this is really good as, a standard card. It's really good if it's in a free-for-all against people. This is just a very strong card. So, yeah. Bye-bye hand, bye-bye life total, and then it's just going to go and swing to your face without anyone stopping it. So that's really, really wild. Next we have a common card called Flay The Flying. It is a spell. It is 1 treasure trove or arcane tome to use, plus 2 cards in your hand. Choose target player. That player's battlefield is now affected by this casting. Damage that player's flying empowered creatures by 2. For as many times as you can, you may spend an additional 2 gold and or glyphs for the casting to do any additional 2 damage. Well, that's how you are going to get through past all that wonderful anti-targeting and the spell proof that there is for creatures that are flying, especially in this, by doing this spell, that's for sure, because that's going to just try and trounce those aerial guys. So yeah, and then look at what that flavor text says. The sky shall rain with corpses. I like it. Next is a common card called Fleshbond Chimera. It is a creature fusion chimera. And it has a +1 attack, +1 defense. So the casting cost is any 5 tableau resources, requires at least 2 creatures to fuse, which if you can't, put this card in the graveyard. Now, what it does is barrier 5. You may turn creatures not in stasis as if they were resources to help cast this creature. Fuse any number of creatures and put this card on top of them. Then draw a card for every creature that fused. If any creatures in the fusion have counters of any kind, they are put on Fleshbond Chimera. When an opponent targets Fleshbond Chimera with a casting or ability, they must turn 2 gold and or 2 glyphs. Okay, so basically what's going on here is that you can cast this creature even without using gold or glyphs, but you can also use resources in your tableau. But if you can't go and fuse it to anything, then it just fizzles. Yeah. And when it comes out onto the field, it will be upright and active. So you're going to get cards out of this thing, and it has a barrier of 5, which means that, like, it will block up to 5 things. So this can either be very useful for attacking or very useful for defending. Either way, it's strong and it is good. The next card is a common card, which is Frilled Drake, which is a creature dragon drake with an attack of 7, defense of 5, special defense of 0, and then the casting cost is using 2 treasure troves. When an opponent targets this card to flick it, they must turn 2 regular and or upgraded resources to do so. Physical ability, instant speed, fire faction. Spend 2 gold to deal 3 damage to a target creature. If an opponent creature is attacking, you may use this ability to block it. Fusion. Fuse with 2 more dragon creatures to have them become a draconic hydra. So this card, if you want to use its little fire ability, not only does it hurt things, but prior to the blocks, you can go and do that and make it basically remove a creature from combat because it's auto blocking it. That's very cool. And also it hurts things. So, and you can just do that up to as many times as you can. So that's wonderful. And then it can also be a Draconic Hydra. So, and it can't be flicked out of there. So beefy. This is a beefy boy. Okay, so next card is Gale Force Trooper. It is an uncommon creature, human, Knight of the Air faction. And it has 3 attack, 3 defense, and 0 special defense, with a casting cost of using 2 glyphs. It is spellproof, and when Gale Force Trooper enters the field, create 1 elemental resource or runestone. So for a 2-drop, that has got some definite power, and it definitely has some goodies that can help you accelerate. Quite the nice card there. Next we have Gauntlets of the Defender, which is a common card that is an equipment, armor, accessory made out of iron. And it is a 2 cost where you spend 2 gold and plus 1 card from the top of your deck. So you get 1 extra defense when you have this equipped, and it is an equip cost of 1. So equipped creature has Sentinel. Equipped creature gets an extra +1 defense when blocking. So if you're blocking, it's basically an extra 2 defense. But good little offensive card too, because Sentinel is a wonderful attribute. Great card. Next is Giant Worm, which is a rare card. Creature Giant Worm. It says it all. 4 attack, 4 defense, and 0 special defense. And it is a casting cost of 1 glyph and 1 treasure trove to use. This card may enter the field hidden. This card has an empowerment of hiding. So this is just a big, bruising, hiding jerk right here is what this is. So that is a wonderful card for sure. The final card that we are going to go over, we're ending on a doozy, and this card is Glacial Wyvern. It is a rare card that is a creature dragon wyvern of the water faction. It is a 7 attack, 7 defense, and 0 special defense, and it is a 7 drop of use 7 glyphs, and this is what it does. So it has fast if it's on the ground, and it is empowered by flight. Physical ability of water faction. At the beginning of combat, stun 1 target opponent creature until the end of turn. Magic ability, instant speed, water faction. Spend 3 glyphs and turn Glacial Wyvern for 4 damage to a target creature. Fusion. Fuse with 2 more dragon creatures to have them become a draconic hydra. Yes, this monstrous beast right here will crush everything. So you can always have this come into flying if you cast it, but remember, you can always have things on the ground. So if you have this thing on the ground, it can just attack, and when it attacks, it basically will freeze something. So something's going to get stunned. But either way, you could do some other things with this card too. So what a great card this is. And yeah, so with that being said, that's the end of this batch of cards. Check out the next video for more overpowered cards that we are going to show. But in reality, yeah. The game rules and card database you can check on the Google Drive, and you can play the game on untap.in. It's free to sign up, or you can do it on Tabletop Simulator. So remember, you're going to need some friends to play with, so join that Discord. Make sure you do that. Come and see all the happenings that are going on. And also check out the Ichiban Games webpage for other games and things as well. With that being said, there's lots more games to check out from us, so make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video and more, and ring that notification bell to know when we have our next ones coming up. All right, thanks everybody. Take care.